So today was Funko's like Fundays event. It was basically just a live stream that's very similar to their past Fun TV shows with Mike Becker and Brian Mariotti. Mariotti? I always say Moriarty, but Brian Mariotti, that might even be wrong too. And I won't say too much about the actual stream or event, whatever you want to call it, because look, Funko tries. They try to be fun and entertaining, but I don't know. As I was watching it, I felt like I was dying on the inside a little bit. And most of the time, I felt like I was watching something that is not too dissimilar than what I see like on a 2-year-old's iPad. When I, double check to make sure, they're not, watching something they're not supposed to be watching. It really looked like some baby shit. So I won't pick it apart. And spoiler warning, the Rangers win. Not sure if people that got the Fundays Ranger box win anything. Logistically, how could they do that really, Unless they're sending out like a little special prize if they kept track, who got Ranger boxes. But I doubt it. I think it's all just, for fun. But the Rangers win. Awesome. But obviously the most interesting part is the new sneak peeks, the reveals. And the first one was for Jingle All the Way. The first Turbo Man looks good. The sculpt is good. He's the plainest one. I imagine this is going to be the common. I think this one, where he's actually taking flight, is the one that's the most interesting to me. I really like the Pops that are flying. And I actually think that they should have done the Rocketeer like this instead of having a stand. Don't know why they didn't, because this looks really cool. And I like the extra shading of that yellow-orange. And it looks like the paints on the gold are going to be metallic with a clear visor in the front. Visually an interesting pop. And they're also going to have another Turbo Man holding a little Turbo Man figure, which is also a good idea, very interesting. And I can see a lot of people having this as their favorite one. And I forget the name of the character in the movie, but they're also making Sinbad's character in the mailman uniform, and this one looks really good. It does look like Sinbad, but the details in general are really good, like the gloves and the hat. He came out nice. And they're also doing him when he's dressed up as the villain. I imagine this is very nostalgic for a lot of people. I think I was already a little too old when this came out. I've actually only seen bits and parts of it, so I didn't realize that this movie was popular enough to actually make pops out of. But I'll admit, they look pretty good. If you're a fan of this, I imagine that you're happy with these designs. They're also making a card game, but maybe the coolest thing is the actual Turbo Man, which is the doll that everybody wants in the movie. So to me, this is kind of like the coolest collectible out of the bunch. It's a Walmart exclusive, and I want to say that he already released. I think I remember seeing a Twitter post or something with links to where to buy it. We also got to see some more retro Toys Pops, and the first one is Barrel Full of Monkeys. I actually really like this design. Not sure I would get it, but I like how the little monkeys have pop eyes and pop heads. Kind of weird that the barrel has a face too. And I hope the eyes are actually sculpted. Same with the mouth, but it looks like they're just decals. Or maybe just the mouth is a decal. Hard to tell on these glams, but it's not bad. The Play-Doh does give me, like, the Pop Products kind of vibe, where it's just basically the product with eyes on it. But at least he is holding the Play-Doh scissors and the little mold for the clay. And I do like that they made the clay pink, even though if you want to get technical, that's a blue lid on that Play-Doh. So I guess he's not playing with himself. Definitely a pass for me, because yeah, it just looks too much like the Pop Products to me. I never played Trouble, so I don't have the nostalgia for it. And this one's probably my least favorite, like design-wise. It's cool that he's actually holding the box for the game, and that little thingy that you press to make the dice roll around. Or else, like, I don't know if a lot of people would have any idea what this is. Super, super plain design. But, at least it says Trouble on there, so you know what it is. They're making a light bright, but similar to the Play-Doh, just looks like the product with legs and feet. I do like the colors they pick, though. And I'm sure this is one of those ones that looks more interesting in person. And I really, really, really hope that it glows in the dark. If there's ever been a pop that should glow in the dark, it's a light, bright pop. And definitely my favorite of these retro toys, it's the Ouija board. And I forget what you call the little thingy that you and your friends pretend you aren't moving over the letters. Did you guys ever play Ouija board? I did with my friends. We used to really like creeping each other out. Not my favorite pop of all time. Not sure I would get it. But this one is a little bit more interesting to me. Because of course I used to play it. But I just like the idea of it a little better. So this one was actually really surprising to me. They're making new Rocky Pops. Seems to be coming out of nowhere unless there's a new Rocky movie coming out. And they are a big improvement over the originals. The first one is Rocky with the white trunks and red stripe. Body mold is definitely better than the original. Hair sculpt, pretty much everything. They even made the eyes kind of droopy. And he has a little bit of gradiated red around his eye. Because, he's mid-fight. Yeah, he just looks cool. I like it. Always wanted to have a Rocky Pop. They're also making Apollo Creed. Just like Rocky. Looks way better than the original. I like his stance. Very recognizable with the striped shorts. Like this one as well. Probably will pick it up. Maybe my second favorite one. That's Rocky in his training gear. With the headband. The gray sweatsuit. The Converse. And famously when he's chasing the chicken around. And even the chicken has Popeyes. I like this one a lot too. But my favorite is definitely Rocky in the black shorts with the belt and his gloves down like in front of his hips there. I want to say this is like from the poster or an image they used a lot for the promotion of the movie. Very classic, and this one is my favorite one. They also revealed a single Loki pop from the TV show, and I'm only 2.5 episodes in, so I don't remember the name of this character, and I don't know who he is. I don't think he's showed up yet. So please don't spoil it for me, but this guy is still in the concept stage. Doesn't have a 3D glam yet, but you get a pretty good idea of what he's going to look like. And he looks interesting enough, but since I don't know much about the character, I can't comment on how accurate it is or whether he's a fan favorite. But that's the Loki reveal. Now, by far to me, the worst reveals were the cereal boxes. It's just the Pop products. First one is a regular Captain Crunch. And the image on the box doesn't really look like what the Captain Crunch cereal boxes look like. I mean, you can tell what it is because it says Captain Crunch and it has Captain Crunch on it. But it doesn't look like the cereal boxes. So this is just a square with like Captain Crunch artwork on it. But I do like that it's at least holding a cereal bowl. And that the legs and arms aren't just plain. He's actually wearing like some pirate boots like Captain Crunch would wear. So there's that at least. Pretty much feel the same way about the Crunch Berries one. Except for it's a little bit more colorful, maybe a little bit more interesting looking. They're also making a Fruit Loops one, which might be my favorite one just because I think the Fruit Loops cereal looks better. And I like the shoes it's wearing, and I like that the legs and arms are different colors. It's just more colorful, and I think the artwork on it is a little nicer. But still not a fan of these. And they're also making a Trix one. Probably the plainest one with the white arms and legs, but that's probably because the Trix rabbit is just a white rabbit, and it's modeled after that. I think this would be a little better if they actually molded the mouths, right? Like if they had like a little bit of a cheek going on, a little bit of indent where the line is, maybe if the tongue was actually molded. But from what I can tell, these are just, squares with printing on it and Popeyes. They would be better if they were molded, or maybe even the image. Like if the Trix rabbit was actually kind of 3D popping off of there, I would have a totally different opinion of these. But as far as what I can tell, they're just little square boxes with printing on them, and they're pretty boring to me. They don't seem like, a $12 collectible to me. They seem like large-size Shopkins. They also revealed some new sodas, and I'm not a big soda fan, but I have to admit that a lot of these looked really good, especially the chases. There's a classic Aquaman, and he probably has the most boring chase. Pretty much the same thing, just metallic. And metallic is way better, because Aquaman's suit to me has always seemed like it's metallic. So it's definitely worth trying to get the chase. And I like the hair sculpt on him, but to me, the human sodas aren't my favorites, mainly because I just don't like the eyes. They're too close together, it just looks funny, and I just don't like the sodas based on just kind of human-looking characters. Well, most of them anyway. They're also making Godzilla, and I really like the way this one looks. Kind of just looks like the Pop, but just mini, but it's pretty intricate looking, and it's not too stylized that non-soda collectors wouldn't like it because it just looks like a soda. It just looks like a cool, Godzilla figure. And I like the chase. I think they call that City Lights. And this chase is also just a repaint, but I like it. It's nice and different. And they're making an Underdog soda. And this is a really nice figure because the common one, Underdog. If you're an Underdog fan, I'd imagine you'd want him in the Underdog uniform. But the chase is pretty awesome. Completely different mold for the head and the body. It's his alter ego. I think it's a shoe shine boy or something. And it looks like those are clear pieces in front of his eyes. And I don't follow sodas that carefully, but has there been other sodas with clear pieces on them? Because if not, I guess this would be the first. But yeah, I really like this one. This is the opposite of a lazy chase. Very well done. And they're doing a killer clown from outer space. Very nice sculpt on this one. Kind of an ugly character to me, but I know a lot of people like this. And it is visually interesting. Nice sculpting on that rough collar. And I'm a big fan of the blacklight myself, so I like this chase. Overall, a cool figure. I think it'll be popular. And this Popeye soda is also really nice. The common is great with the spinach, and the chase for the most part is an all new mold. Love the way they did the arm. Just really nice overall. Good job with the sodas. There was also some Wonder Woman 80 Years reveals, and I have to admit that a lot of these are really nice. I don't collect Wonder Woman myself, but some of these are awesome. This White Lantern Wonder Woman in this flying pose looks really cool. I like the white eyes on it. Now, I don't read Wonder Woman comics, so I don't really know where these are from. This one looks obviously like a more modern version of Wonder Woman, and she looks okay, but she's one of the more boring ones to me. Same with this one, but it's cool. Like, if this was the only one they revealed, I'd still think it's cool. Now, I believe this one is from a Sinestro storyline, so that's why she has the yellow on it. Again, not a big Wonder Woman or DC comic book reader anymore, but this one to me is one of the more plain ones. Now, this one with the helmet and the armor looks really cool to me, and the flowing cape. Lots of cool details. Hopefully that's all metallic paints on there, different colors of metallic. But this one is my favorite one. Maybe because I recognize it in the classic Wonder Woman uniform with the red, white, and blue cape. I like the hair sculpt. I like the stance with her hands on her hips. Definitely my favorite one. I might even pick this one up. And this one is a very, very close second. And this one appears to have a lighter shade of hair. It's brown. If you know the story behind this one, let me know. Because I like that white kind of cape she has draped on her. Looks very Greek. And I love the skull, of course. Very cool figure. And this one, when they first showed it, I thought it was Wonder Woman riding Dumbo. But it doesn't look anything like Dumbo. I guess it was just like the color and the way the wings are reminded me of Dumbo's ears. But this is a very nice pop ride. And Funko recently released She-Ra on Swiftwind. And I gotta say that the sculpt on this horse is 10 times better. It looks like she's riding a fetal pig. But the sculpt on this horse is definitely an improvement. And for the anime fans, they revealed some Boruto. I don't know anything about Boruto. But Funko does a really good job with the anime pops. They're some of the most detailed. And I do think these all look good, but since I don't watch the series, I don't know how accurate they are. I don't know who the characters are. But the hair sculpts especially are very striking. The body sculpts are all dynamic in some way. There's nothing plain about these pops. So I imagine that Boruto fans will be happy with these. And that was it for the reveals. Nothing I'm terribly crazy about. I might pick up that Apollo Creed, Rocky with a championship belt, maybe one of the Wonder Womans. But for the most part, I think all of these pops are sculpted pretty well. The only ones I would say are a dud, to me, in my opinion, are the cereal boxes. Even the retro toys, which look kind of like just products with Popeyes. At least there's something kind of interesting about those. And that was Fundays. Rangers win. It was a cringe fest once again, but we got some cool reveals. Let me know in the comments below what you think about these or anything else you'd like to say. Thanks for watching and take it easy.